And we are live and recording. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Alex Chisnell from the Festival of Enterprise, Content Director, and I am joined by Adnane Alaoui, who is EMEA Director for the Infrastructure Solutions Group, Dell Technologies. And we're talking keep your employees productive. And that is happening right here, right now. So we are live on this webinar. We are also broadcasting, streaming live into Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So if you're watching on those platforms as well, welcome. If you'd like to be a little bit more interactive, then simply come and join us here. And you just need to register at festivalofenterprise.co.uk. But if you are, I don't know, on the beach on a beautiful day like today, where I am here in Poole in Dorset, in England, or in Casablanca, where Adnane is, and you're watching on your phone, then that's absolutely fine as well. Those of you watching the replay of this as well, so I always get a lot of questions during this. Literally, as soon as we end the broadcast, this will be available again to watch here, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So lots of places where you can watch this. This is the best place because you'll be able to see all the questions and the answers and the links that we're going to be sharing with you as well. And please use the chat box there. Any questions at any time that you've got, post them in. If there's anything mind-blowing, I will stop Adnane during this presentation and ask him. But 99%, I'm sure we will have lots of time at the end to answer any questions you have with regards to keeping your employees productive. So give you a little bit more background. You've obviously read a little bit about this to have registered to join us today. So, over the past few months, small businesses have undergone huge changes in the way their employees work, shifting from very traditional office environments to working from home. Personally, I've worked from home before 5 days a week, and then equally I've worked in an office 5 days a week, and then in a previous life, my office was an aeroplane flying all around the world, the Virgin Atlantic. So I've kind of experienced many different office environments. Depending on what country you're in, obviously restrictions are easing. We're definitely seeing that in England, not so much in Wales or Scotland, for example. And businesses are starting to review their longer term plans, when it comes to flexibility in the workplace and longer term working from home options for their team. So Adnane's going to talk us through these kind of questions today. And I know a lot of you out there are going to have questions when it comes to this, because it's something we've never seen before, as Adnane said earlier, in our lifetimes at least. So it's definitely worth exploring in some detail. As I say, any questions, pop them in the box. Let us know where you're watching from as well. I'm here in Poole in Dorset, Adnane, Casablanca, in Morocco. Let us know where you're all watching from. Love to know, so just pop it in the chat box. And without further ado, I will hand over to you, my friend. Take it away.
Great, thanks, Alex. Great intro, thank you. Welcome to the Festival of Enterprise, and thank you for joining us. Good afternoon. My name is Adnane Alaoui. I'm here in Casablanca, Morocco, and I am an ISG director responsible of small businesses in Europe. Today, so we're going to talk about work from home, and before we get there and we get into the slides, I'd like to say that we are all in this together. As Alex mentioned, this is something that new to all of us. Never experienced something like this in our lifetimes, and it's changing the way we live, the way we work, the way we learn. We've seen our kids at home learning something new to most of them. But I'd like to tell you that Dell Technologies is here to help you and help our small businesses customers. We make sure that you have the right solutions and the support you need every step of the way. Our advisors are standing by, available to provide you with advices, answer your questions, or just chat, and they're really a phone call away. So if you see here the number, please dial 800-845-4878, or you can visit us online, and there's a link down there. So we're here to help, and we're here to listen and understand your challenges and pain points, and provide recommendations and product and solutions that can help you. Right. So so what we're going to talk about today, the work from home challenges and how to keep your employees productive while they're working from home. So first, we're just going to visit the history of working from home. So something fun, take a look at, when did it start? What were some of the drivers, and how it evolved during the years. Then we're going to get into the challenges and some of the benefits and the opportunities in working from home. Then we'll get into the solutions and how Dell Technologies can help, not only from the product and solutions and technology, but also the services, the finance tools and services that we have to help our customers acquire and leverage the technologies available. Right. And then we talk about the services at the end. And please, as Alex mentioned, if you have any questions, anything you need clarification, any opinions, or let's please make this interactive, because this is really a discussion that we want to have with you today. Great. So so look at some the history and the evolution of working remotely. And it really started a long time ago, but we're not going to go beyond the 1900s. The 1900s is an interesting timeline. It's because some of the technology that we're still using today started in the 1900s, and namely that's the telephone. Right? It looked different, but same technology. Right? And it started a little bit before the 1900s, but in the 1900s, the adoption of the phone, and by 1920, 1930, many of the homes, especially in the large countries in the UK, US, where I lived and spent some time, people had access to the phone in the 1920s, 1930s, and that encouraged some people to start setting up a home office and working from home. And then the typewriter, of course. So, the telephone and typewriter, they remind me of today's office. Instead of a typewriter, we have a PC, and instead of that bulky phone, a connected phone through a wire, black phone, today we have a wireless, right? Or a soft phone maybe. And then really, nothing really major happened that drove work from home until 17 and the 80s. Many advancement in technology happened in the 70s and the 80s. That in the phone, because the phone is a major tool for working remotely, right? You want to be able to connect with customers or with workers. So the phone really evolved in the 70s. We had some technologies like ACD, automatic call distributor, IVR, interactive voice response. Those technologies really took the phone technology to a different level. And then in the 80s, we saw this call centers the way we know them today. This started in the 80s, mostly in the UK and the US. Many of the insurance companies and retailers like JCPenney in the US started hiring mostly women at the time, homemakers, working part-time, and with the phone and the investment in software, the PCs became affordable in late 80s, and these companies hired people to work from home and call and sell insurance and sell services and products. And then the 1990s, huge development and invention happened, especially Ethernet, the first browsers and Wi-Fi, and that really encouraged people to work from home and connect from everywhere. And then in the 2000s, two things happened. On the technology side, IP telephony, the way we know it today. Today, we're using IP telephony in this webinar, right? And that's really the integration and the conversion of data and voice. We send in voice on the Ethernet. And that was huge in the 2000s, because that really drove the adoption and the affordability of making calls, right? Because you know how voice was very expensive. The telecom companies were making a lot of money from voice, and all of a sudden, you know, with many applications that came out in the 2000s, really helped people, you know, reduce the cost of making calls. And now, you know, WhatsApp, we can call for free, and then, you know, many of the Zooms and Skypes, all these applications really are based on the IP telephony technology that started in the early 2000s. And then a big event happened in the 2000s is the government acts and the policies, right? Obama signed the act in 2009, driving the government and the federal government to allow federal workers to telework, right? I think it's called the Telework Act, and the big countries, UK and many other big countries in Europe, followed suit. And even the private companies started offering flexible working and remote working to their employees. Dell Technologies, the company I work for, started the remote working back in 2009, 2010. So we've been having the work from home for the past 10, 11 years, and many large companies did that as well, right? So, and then the 2010s, we had the video technology. It really started around 2008, 2009, you know, the Zoom, what we're using now, and many of the Polycoms and many of other applications out there started leveraging the video technology. And then by 2018, we thought, wow, this is huge. 16% of the companies worldwide had 100% work from home policy. Everybody worked from home, right? Most of these companies are in the Silicon Valley. Most of them are startups. And then 53 of the companies by 2018 had people working at least part-time from home. So hybrid kind of solution. You know, they come to the office a couple of days and they work from home a couple of days. And we thought by 2018, wow, this is huge. And then COVID-19 hit about 3-4 months ago. And then millions of people, including all of us, we were forced to work from home, right? This changed everything. You know, it's something that we never saw before. We did not expect, we were not prepared for it. So billions of people affected and millions of employees working from home, right? And what's interesting is the CFOs look at this and said 74% of these CFOs, they think that there are benefits. And we're going to get into the details from working from home. And they expect the working from home to continue after the COVID-19 is over. You know, I don't know if it's going to be over 100%, but whenever the lockdown is over, as Alex mentioned, everywhere, 74% of the companies, the CFOs, they see benefits, financial benefits. They see productivity, efficiency, and they're saving costs, and they say it's going to continue, right? Which is interesting. So we'll get into the details, and we'll talk about the challenges, and we'll talk about some of the benefits, like what these CFOs see. So next slide, really we're going to talk about what we call the new normal, because really it's the new normal, because we're going to be working from home for a while, not 100%, but at some hybrid, working from home and working from the office. So let's look at the top challenges, what we're hearing from our customers, right? Time management is a challenge, right? You know, me working from home, I find it is a challenge, right? Because you really don't know when to start, when your day is going to end. You know, you can start at 6 a.m. and keep working until 10 p.m. because you're home, your PC is open, people calling you, you know, any given time. You're like, okay, let me go and check on that last email, right? Dealing with family distractions, right? Some of us are living with extended families. Some of us have kids going and learning, as I said, e-learnings that you need to help them. You with your kids, you need probably stop and make lunch and have lunch with them. So those are challenges that we need to deal with. You know, when we used to work from the office, we didn't have that. You know, you're at the office, you're at the office. Then you may feel disconnected, even though you're talking to your colleagues and partners and customers and everybody else, but still, because you're home, you don't see people passing by. You may feel you're out of the circle, you're disconnected, and then feeling the FOMO, which is related. You may think that you're missing out, right? There are things happening that you're not aware of, right? And then the biggest one for our customers, at least for small businesses, is the technology. Working from home. Big companies are used to working from home, and know how to do it. And they were ready. Many of the big customers, it took them 24 hours to just go 100% from a part-time or hybrid to 100% working from home, because they had the technology. They only had to scale it on the fly, and you have the IT teams who can deploy and support them, right? So that was not a challenge for many of the big companies. For SP customers that we've been talking to, it was a challenge, right? A, you need access to that technology, and B, investment, and then you need to deploy it. And some of our SB customers, they were not even able to work from home. If you look at a doctor or a dentist, he just cannot work from home, right? So that was a challenge, really. If we look at the silver lining and some of the benefits and why these 74% CFOs are saying, we're going to continue working from home after the lockdowns and everything. Well, flexible schedule, right? It is a double-sided sword, right? Time management is a challenge, but at the same time, it gives you flexible schedule. You can get up at 4 a.m. and start working and finish at 3 and go have lunch with your family, or and then come back, right? So you're home, right? You're saving time and OpEx, right? Some people commute 3-4 hours a day to back and forth to the office, and the big towns here in Casablanca, and I know London has traffic as well, and many of the big towns, traffic is a nightmare. You could be spending hours. So you save on time and you save on OpEx because you're home, right? And then most people we talk to, they find it productive and efficient because you don't have the distractions of the office. You're home, and you can really get to focus and do what you need to do. And then finally is a big one, is work-life balance, right? Especially for working moms, they're home, and parents as well. I'm enjoying time with my kids. As Alex mentioned, my office was on the plane. I used to travel twice a month, and I cover Europe, so big places to go and visit the teams that we have. But now I don't have to, and I'm spending time with my family. And during the day, I can take a break and have lunch with my kids, and it's really big for a lot of people, and easier to make calls on privacy, right? Because you're home. If you have a home office, you have privacy, and you don't have the challenges of the office. And some people at the office, they don't have an office. They have a desk. At Dell, we all have desks, open cubes. So sometimes it's not easy to make those customer private calls that you want to make, right? So these are really from high level some of the key. There are others out there, but these, based on what we've been hearing from our customers, these are the key ones. And please chat and send us if you see other things that I didn't cover. Please share with us. We like to learn. So now we're gonna double click on technology, because we believe that one of the biggest challenges for SB customers is really the work from home technology and solutions, because most of them, they were not used to working from home. And that's what I wanted to focus on moving forward in this presentation. So some of the challenges and the ask from our customers, number one is, how do we make sure that my employees staying at home, they will have the same user experience, the same professional home office, right? Because, as I said, Many of us were not working from home. So if you work from home, if you used to work from home on part-time, you probably have a chair somewhere or you use a dining table. But now you're full-time, so you really want, that home office, professional home office, a nice professional chair, comfortable chair. You have the monitor, you have the desk, you have the printer. It's not easy to put that together, right? Number two is security and optimize connectivity and networking. Really, yeah, this is a big challenge because connectivity and making sure that you have the bandwidth and it's like the office connectivity is not easy. From the office, some of us are lucky to have fiber optic, and others have a dial-up, DSL, and wireless, and it's not enough, right? And then internet, making sure that you have an end-to-end encryption because you're connecting back to the office. And then load balance and making sure we provide quality of service to some of the critical applications like voice. Now we use in Ethernet, as I said, the convergence of voice and data. We use in internet to send our voice, what I'm doing now. So how do I make sure that my voice is being prioritized because I'm not doing any data now, I'm not sending emails over the network, right? Because voice, we don't want the latency and the delays, otherwise you're not going to hear everything I say, right? And number five is a biggie, right? Really, because when we're at the office, we have access to the applications, right? And we have everything at the office. Now we're remote. We need to continue having access to those critical applications, and especially those 2, 3 critical applications that we use day to day. You have employees, a finance employee who needs access to SAP, for example, or some, a marketing employee needs access to a CRM. He needs that access to that CRM. Working from home, he needs to continue having that access, right? And also, while we're working from home, how do you make sure that the data from your employees is being backed up in case there is a disaster, for business continuity? How do you make sure that that data, that PC is being backed up and also replicated in case for disaster recovery in case there is a disaster, right? Because at the office we take them for granted. I'm at the office, I log in, and everything will be taken care of. But now I'm at home. Who's going to make sure that my data is backed up, right? So how does Dell Technologies address these challenges, and how is Dell Technologies helping customers overcome those challenges, right? That technology challenges that we just mentioned. Number one, Dell Technologies is the leader in many things we do, and especially in PCs, right? And today we're helping many of our customers, and we've been doing it for the past 3 months when the epidemic started, where we can ship a PC customized, loaded with the company image directly to the employee house, right? We can do that. So you tell us, what address you want. You can order 10 PCs. You give us different addresses, and we can do that. And then you can give us your image, and we can do that, right? So really, we've been working with our small businesses, and we got some really positive feedback that we've been helping our customers through this, right? For the VPN, I'm going to combine a couple of things here: VPN and network optimization and encryption. As I said, we're number one in anything we do. And SD-WAN, we are number one. With our sister company, VMware, we have SD-WAN is the software-defined WAN gateways and solutions that we can provide to our customers so that they can put together a VPN based on SD-WAN that's cost-effective and can help them make sure they secure the data and then provide the right connection and the bandwidth the customers need while they work remotely, right? SD-WAN can also help with number 4 here with traffic and prioritization. As I said, if you're talking, you want your voice to be prioritized because you're not using any data, and SD-WAN has the smart and the intelligence and the quality of service to make sure that your voice get prioritized, right? And then it acts as a load balancing as well, right? And number 5, which is, and I'm going to double click on that, is VDI, or virtual desktop infrastructure, to make sure that our customers, their employees working from home, they have access to the critical applications. So when you take virtual desktop infrastructure, VDI, and you virtualize the desktop or the PC, and you combine it with virtual applications to get access to the virtual applications running in the data center, you solve many issues. And then whatever you do is automatically backed up because you're connected to a virtual desktop that's running in the data center. So that virtual desktop is backed in the data center and replicated to another data center if the company has as a second data center for disaster recovery, right? In case of disaster. So we're going to double click on this last one and spend a couple slides to get into the details. So what is VDI and desktop virtualization from high level is really is a software technology that provides organization with a streamlined approach for delivering, protecting, managing desktops, right? So instead of providing a physical desktop to an employee, you can provide him a desktop that doesn't have a disk, or a PC that doesn't have a disk, or a thin client, zero client, that doesn't have a disk, and that employee can connect to his desktop running in software in the data center, right? And this has many advantages and benefits, right? Number 1 is security. Everything that happens in the data center. So whatever security you have running in the data center will apply to all the desktops because they're running in the data center, right? You can back up. You can make sure that you back up because many employees don't back up their PCs. I don't back up every day or every week, once a while. But if you have the desktop running as a virtual desktop in the data center, whatever backup policy you have for the entire data center will include the desktops as well. And you can not only back up, you can replicate to another data center, and you can replicate to the cloud. Many customers today, they're replicating and they're backing their desktops and server images to the cloud. So that's a hybrid a solution where you use the public cloud like Azure for services like backup as a service, right? So you could do that. And today we offer many solutions for VDI. So solutions that customers can build on their own, and we can help them. So really build your own by leveraging servers, solutions like vSAN, virtual SAN. So basically server running VMware software, and then you can build your own desktop virtualization solution, and we can help you with the sizing and with the solutions that we have to make sure you have the right solution for you. And then there is a bundled solution. Really, it's ready, tested, pre-validated, optimized, and it runs mostly on HCI, which is a hyperconverged infrastructure that has many benefits, ease of use, and you don't need an army of IT experts because it's really bundled solution and all in one, ready to be deployed for VDI. So we get into the details of VDI, and as I said, our specialist in my team can work with you and make sure first we understand what type of profiles you have, because different companies, they have different profiles. You can have a task worker. He does one task. He needs a browser, and that's all he needs. Or you can have a knowledge worker, an engineer that needs probably some tools, advanced tools to do some design, graphic design, for example, civil engineering tools for a civil engineer, or electromechanical engineer that needs some advanced tools. So that worker would need a different profile. And then a multimedia worker, really, that's another level, or a VIP. It could be a VP, could be a CFO, could be a CEO who needs more and advanced tools. But we can work with you and make sure we understand what type of of profiles you have in your company, and make sure that we take that into consideration when we size the desktops, because every profile will have a different desktop configuration, and we get into the details of the storage and networking, and the compute, the server, to make sure we take all that into consideration in sizing the right environment for you. And also we put some room for scaling in the future. If you want to add more workers, the solution should be scalable. You start small, and then you don't have to forklift the solution and put something else, but use the same solution as a building block, and then you scale as you go. Right. So we have different solutions, and we have solutions based on rack and tower servers. And as I said, we have bundled solutions based on HCI, our key product called VxRail, which is number one in the market in terms of HCI. So as I said, so different solutions we have. So we have the vSAN ready nodes for customers who want to build their own solutions. That could be running on rack servers on a tower, and we have a bundled solutions running on HCI, which is a VxRail. But for both solutions, we can work with you and make sure, as I said, we understand your requirement, we understand the type of profiles you have, and make sure we size it to make sure that at the end of the day, for VDI, you want employees to have the same experience, the same user experience as having their own desktop next to them. So it would be seamless. So that's what, if we do the exercise and configure everything correctly, then when an employee is connected to his VDI, the user experience stays the same, and the user or the employee would not see any degradation in terms of bandwidth or performance, but they see advantages. They see that their VDI image is being backed up every day, replicated. In case there is a problem, they can always go back and reload, so there is no loss of data. And then the security is integrated with the solutions as well, right? So so beside the technologies that we have, and this really, for the time constraint, I had to really cover the solution from a high level. But if you need more information, please let us know so we can get in touch with you and provide you detailed information on VDI solutions. But from the technology, we have a vast list of product and solutions that we can help you with. And different solutions, as I said, based on rack, tower, or HCI, vSAN, and bundled VxRail solutions. So outside of technology, because as I said, it's not only about using the technology, is affording the technology. And I understand SB customers these days, because of what's happening, many of them having financial challenges, and they need to stay afloat and support their business. Right. So what we put together is a financial solution as well to help our customers get access to that technology. Right. And we believe that we have the best financial solutions in the market. So our DFS, the Dell Financial Services team, put together a solution. So today, a customer can buy a technology like the VDS solution that I just mentioned, pay $0 or £0 or €0 for the next 6 months, 180 days. And after 6 months is 0% interest. There is no interest applied. And for those customers who just want to lease a technology, use it for 6 to 12 months, because they may go back to the office after 12 months or 6 months or 7 months, and they just want to use something now. We have an option for customers: use the technology between 6 to 12 months and return it to us. Right. So that's a great service, and I know many of our customers are using it today. Right. In terms of the services, we have many services to help our customers. So from the consulting services that I mentioned for VDI, for example, we work with our customers and provide the consultant, make sure we understand their pain points, understand what they're trying to do, and work with them to size the right solutions to meet their needs, and make sure that they can scale moving forward. Then the deployment services. Well, deployment services, we have many options. I understand today that customers working from home, they're trying to limit the data center physical intervention. Well, we have remote deployment, right? We have remote system management, and one of the webinars that we're gonna do in the next couple of weeks is data center remote management, and Noel from my team is gonna cover that. And we're really the leaders in remote management, and remote management is always a great benefit to our business customers. But today, it's even more important than ever because of what's happening, and because we want to limit the physical intervention, and we don't want people to be in our data centers and the IT rooms. So we do have deployment services that we can do remotely, and we have Pro Deploy that's remote. All we need is the equipment to be connected to a power, connected to the internet, and we take everything from there, and then we help the customer deploy those equipments, right? And we do have our support services. So support is very important these days. Customers working from home, they need help. They need help not only from 9 to 5, they need help at night, they need help during the weekend, because what I said about flexible working, that's one of the advantages of working from home, but also has challenges, because if I'm working from home anytime, I'm gonna need help when I have a problem, and our pro support is available. And we provide pro support 24/7 to our customers, from PCs to service, storage to networking, everything we do, everything we sell, right? And we do have education services. So for those customers who want to be trained and educated on solutions like VDI, for example, they never used VDI, or they never used hybrid cloud, and they want to learn more, we do have education services, and we can train them and train their employees on solutions and how to leverage and manage those solutions, right? So here I'm including some videos on YouTube if you want to know more about VDI and SD-WAN, software-defined WAN, and how they can help you and help you save on OpEx and save on day-to-day management and keeping the lights on, and help you drive productivity and efficiency. You can watch these videos, right? And at the end, again, I started with this slide because I really believe this is important. So we're all in this together, really, and we're here as Dell Technologies. We're here to help you with any questions. If you just want to chat, if you just want to bounce some questions, you want us to know more about your business and understand your challenges and come up with options and different ways to solve those challenges, we're here to help. With that, thank you very much. Then slide. So if there are any questions, Alex, or anything we can answer or provide more information.
Awesome. Thank you very much indeed for that, Adnan. Good to see a bit of the history as well, being a bit of a history buff. I like to see that. Couple of questions that come straight in. Thank you, guys. Any other questions, do pop them up. I'll position these to Adnan now, but any other questions that you have now that we've come to the end of the slide deck, please post them in. Let us know what your experience has been during lockdown with regards to working from home, be that as an entrepreneur, be that as a business owner with employees as well. So Alan says, advances in technology have made us more productive, but have gradually isolated us more and more from physical human contact. People constantly look at their phones or tablets in public places, wearing headphones in the street and at work, and home working potentially socially isolating us even more. Big question, Alan. Is this where Homo sapiens should be? I don't know how long, I don't know, I mean, it's personal opinion, I guess, from yourself, Adnan, with that, and it's obviously a huge question that Alan's put out there at societal level.
Yeah, it's a huge question. Thanks, Alan. You know, as I said, you know, this is new to us. You know, we were not prepared for this. I mean, as I said, we used to work from home, most of us on a part-time, or, you know, if we really need to be at home, take care of a sick child or anything. But now is is different right now. Is really, we're at home 100%, and we need to do everything we used to do from the office. And with that, there are many challenges, right? I tried to cover some of the big challenges and what we're hearing from customers, but every day we learn something new, right? Because we thought this was going to be a couple of weeks, but now it's 3 months, and still we don't even know when it's going to be over. And then we're going to learn as we go. I think the best thing here is really to be flexible. I think flexibility is very important. We need to understand everyone has a different circumstances, and we need to be flexible, and we need to adapt and accommodate. Really, I do it personally with my team, and definitely with my customers and partners, to make sure that I'm flexible, and I don't assume anything, because everyone has a different circumstances. So really, from high level, I think for me is we need to be flexible, and adapt and accommodate. I don't know how long this is going to be with us, and we, as 74% of CFOs are saying, we will never go back to normal, and 74% of the companies, 74% of us, I think, probably less for SB, will continue doing this, at least on a hybrid basis. So not sure if that answers the question, but it's just some thoughts on my side.
Yeah, and I think, like you've alluded to, that the sweet spot probably lies somewhere in between, doesn't it? Because I do think, just speaking to people, all over the place, that people are craving human contact again. We are, social animals by nature, taking it back to, way back when, for the first humans on the planet, we did crave contact. And I do think a hybrid version is, something in between. And having spoken to now, got well over 100, high levels, CEOs and business owners hosting these webinars. A lot of people are looking at, different ways of working, but they're looking to accommodate, both, making those decisions. I still think people will still need to see, their bosses, so to speak, in inverted commas, to have that regular time. And just that team building, that kind of thing as well is vitally important. But equally, I think it is important that we can, the social, environmental impact. You remember chatting to somebody and saying, I hope, one of the things to come out of this lockdown is that I don't have to jump on a plane and fly across continents to have a 45-minute meeting in another continent and then fly back home again. So flexible working is going to help us all in that regard. Business travel, etc. So huge question to kick it off with, Alan. Do appreciate that. And it's one where we're going to be talking about for a very long time. Andrew says, with the number of countries ending their official financial support packages for many businesses over the next few months, cash flow is going to be a big issue. How can Dell Technologies help with this? Another good question.
That's really great question. Thank you very much. So I spoke briefly about that. DFS, the Dell Financial Services. We're aware of the challenge, and it's not really for small businesses. It's everywhere, but small businesses are deeply affected, because that's why we call them small businesses. And they're really affected, because large businesses, know how to deal with these things, and we have plans and long-term plans. But small businesses are affected. And as I said, some of the small businesses, they're not even able to work from home. If I'm a dentist, how I'm going to work from home. So it's really a huge challenge. We put different solutions for this to help our customers, because we know that technology is one thing, and technology is available, but how do you get a small business in 24 hours go and acquire a technology? Because again, I think moving forward, innovation and technology is going to be huge. So especially for small businesses, they need to accelerate the digital transformation and leverage technology as a competitive advantage moving forward, because I think technology is going to play a huge role. And I heard that for the past 2 months, digital transformation has achieved what we plan to achieve for the next 10 years, right? That's what I heard. I don't have the exact numbers, but many companies were forced to go and transform and leverage technology, right? So small businesses should do the same. But again, how can small businesses get access to funding? So what we're doing with Dell Technologies, we put together a couple of months ago, which I believe is the best financial services and tools to help our customers in the market. Is a customer can buy or acquire a technology today and pay $0 or £0, €0 today, leverage the technology to do their jobs and keep the business going, and in 6 months pay zero interest, right? Just pay the cost of the technology. Starting 6 months from now, zero interest, right? And the other option is for those customers who want to use the technology. And Alan's question, how long we're going to be in this? We don't know. Maybe 6 months, maybe forever. Maybe this is the new normal. Really, we learn as we go. But for those customers who want to try the technology for a couple months or 6 months or even a year, we have that leasing option. Take the technology, use it, return it back to Dell, right? So those are really two good tools that customers can leverage. And today we're helping many of our small businesses with both, and especially the DFS, the first one, that customers are acquiring the technology, paying nothing, and then paying in 6 months, zero interest. We've seen many customers in UK leveraging that tool, and I believe that's a great tool that we put together to help our customers.
Yeah, without a doubt. Somebody mentioned cash flow before as well earlier, didn't they? And I know just from personal experience now, a lot of people have obviously been furloughed, but feedback I've been getting myself is that people are being unfurloughed, budgets are being reassigned, companies are looking at Q3, which is obviously just weeks away. So I think the more help, as you say, small business owners can get with that than the big blue chip companies like yourself, there, Dell Technologies, recognizing that is only going to help expedite that process. A couple other questions. Home working will suit some, but not suit others. Yeah, absolutely. And again, everybody's different. We're all different human beings. And we've all clearly tried it. We've been forced to try it. And people have taken positives and negatives. So the question is, my office is 5 minutes from my home, and all of our team live no more than 15 minutes from the office and can walk to work. How can you maintain the office brand and the team spirit you mentioned if employees effectively become isolated groups of home workers with limited contact with the office? Will this result in a diminished sense of loyalty, and with work and human endeavor becoming only human capital, as stated by Daniel Susskind in his book, A World Without Work? So yeah, going back to his question, how can you maintain the office brand and the team spirits? That's a good question, and one we've explored a few times on these webinars. But yeah, what's your opinion, Adnane?
That's a great question, and I think it's related to Alan's question, the first question as well. Definitely is one of the biggest challenges. And for us at Dell Technologies as well, and I believe for everybody, is how you keep employees together, connected, versus we just looking at the screen the whole day, right? That's when we used to be at the office, we we go out and we talk and that face to face and feeling you're part of the team is huge, right? Many companies spend a lot of time and money on events, employee events, making sure that the team stays together, team building and everything, because we believe that's huge, right? So now it's not there, right? Even though we try to make sure we get connected on different applications, and then we see our faces and we see pictures and we see we do video conferencing. It's not enough. I think it's a challenge, but I think if I look at the positive side of the story, can you imagine if we had this COVID-19 25 years ago or 30 years ago without this technology, right? That would have been, I can't even think of that. It would have been a nightmare, right? Today, we have this technology, and most of the companies are still going, and actually 74% of the CFOs, as we saw, they think, they're seeing the benefits and they're still doing what they're supposed to do, and productive and efficient and saving money, right? So some businesses are hurting, like the airlines and the services and some other, but most of the companies are still working. So that's the positive side of the story, is the technology that we have today that's allowing us to continue to work. And now we're talking to each other, video conferencing. 25 years ago, doing this would have been a nightmare, right? The internet was like slow and dial-up and no video, and now we can share, and we have the software, and we can share slides and everything. And I'm in Casablanca, and our customers in UK or Wales or other places, and we're all like in one place, right? So at least technology is helping us today to cope with what's happening. But it's a really important question. Appreciate the question, but that's my opinion. Is that we have to do what we have to do for now. Hopefully this thing, the worst is over, and then we go back at least in a hybrid fashion, right? And we can at least see each other and meet once a while. So that's what I'm hoping for. But thanks God for technology, right? Otherwise would have been in a much worse place.
And what's interesting to know, what's your experience been with video conferencing, and does Dell have their own software? And I don't know the answer to this question, hence I'm asking, because I've tried many things and I was using this technology for the last few years. A lot of people have just discovered it in the last 100 days, and I just keep thinking, the more and more I use the technology, that there's got to be a better version than all of the ones I've tried out there. Zoom was maybe only, 1% better than everything else that was out there, but because it was 1% better or more accessible, everybody jumped on it.
Right.
Surely, with VR and things like that, there's got to be somebody who's spent this time coming out with a better version where we actually feel like, I'm in the room with you in Casablanca and we're sat down having a coffee and we're chatting. Because at the moment, it's just really clunky, isn't it? Everything feels quite clunky to me. I don't know. What's your experience been? And do you know if Dell have worked on anything like this technology?
Well, you mentioned a good product, Zoom. And I don't know if you know that Zoom is Dell Technologies product.
I didn't. No.
Yeah.
There you go.
Zoom is VMware.
Yeah. Okay.
Zoom is VMware, and VMware is part of Dell Technologies, right? So we're proud that we have a product, Zoom, that's really helping customers and many people out there continue to work from home. So we're really proud of that. And I think what I mentioned before, this digital transformation that's been accelerated today, I think we're going to see many new products, right? You mentioned VR, and there's artificial intelligence and machine learning. I think in the next months, we're going to see many new technologies because digital transformation has been accelerated by this COVID-19. And I think small businesses and startups, they're well positioned to drive this digital transformation and come up with new product and solutions. I'm hearing, the facial recognition products integrated with temperature check-in, that they can use, at the stores or at the airport to check and measure your temperature before you go in. There's 3D printing. It's tons of applications based on machine learning. The hotel automatic check-in, for example, it's going to be there. It's many applications that are going to come out that they're gonna help us. I see many people they complain about video conferencing, but I'm sure we're going to have new products and with more features coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah, you think there's probably been because of the volume of people that have used it, that the learnings, the feedback that they would have gotten during this time, if they had enough people to actually gather the feedback, because there's been so many users, the learnings will accelerate, like you say, again, that digital transformation and the improvements and the iterations as we move forward.
Absolutely. Yes. A lot of feedback, I'm sure, being given to many of the companies, and they're going to enhance their product or come up with new products.
Well, listen, we are literally come to the end of our hour, so I'm going to refocus the slide just to finish on your last slide with the contact details for Dell Technologies, which is dell.co.uk/small-business-solutions. Also here at Festival Enterprise, we are releasing a mini podcast series in partnership with Dell Technologies. The first episode has gone live today. I will come back in and drop a link here for that as well. So if you want to be able to listen, multitask as well without having to look at a screen, the power of podcasting is you can listen to something wherever you want, whenever you want, and on whatever device you want. The beauty of that technology. So we're going to do that. And last words, I will let you, Adnane, any last words you would like to finish this webinar on? And I would just thank you for being here and appreciate your time. And again, everybody who's watched this from India, America, Casablanca, the UK.
Great. Well, first, thanks, Alex, my partner in crime, helping me today. That's great being with you. And I'd like to thank my customers and everybody who attended today. Thank you very much. Appreciate taking time from your busy schedule, given all the challenges from that we mentioned, working from home, to be with us today. I really hope what we covered today was beneficial. I encourage you to visit the links that I shared. If you need to know more about the technologies we discussed, or call us at this number, and also there's the link if you need more information, if you want a one-on-one type discussion where we get into knowing and understanding your specific challenges and pain points, and we can recommend the best solution for you. Thank you very much again, and hope talk to you soon. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm just going to post up the link here so it's there for everyone to see. They can literally just click on that, and those watching on the replay, it will be the last thing that they will see. So there we go. It's in the chat box for everybody there. Thank you once again. Really nice meeting you, Adnane. Really nice seeing and hearing your presentation. Wish you all the very best for the rest of today and indeed the rest of this week. And everybody, just to let you know, I'm back again tomorrow from 10 a.m. 2 live webinars every day this week. So hope you can join us and take time out of your busier and busier days. Thank you all again.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, team. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.